Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful humans, beautiful beings, beautiful world. Welcome to another day. Uh, Today, I am excited because I'm going to begin a series covering the sacred symbols of Mu. And if you guys have been keeping up with me, you know I've been doing shows on Esoteric Atlanta, and you can see them in my feed where I talk about Mu and the sacred symbols and the meaning of Mu and talk about all the lost works. Well, I don't want, I guess not lost works, but not well known works of James Churchward. And this is really beautiful when we allow ourselves to discover or rediscover our known history of this planet because Mu, as you know, if you guys have been keeping up, is about 70,000 years old, which is about, um, it changes our history. But the first sacred symbol that I wanted to go over with you guys and discuss is the circle. Yes, and I know it seems very primitive, very basic, very simple, but at the time when you had the Brotherhood, the Noctals, that were in connection with creator consciousness, that this was the basic symbol to honor the energy of creator consciousness. This was the symbol that it allowed for the society, the civilization of Mu, to connect with creative energy, to connect with that space, to worship that creative consciousness, the source energy, and not worship in the terms that we know today, where we, tithe and honor and pay tribute uh, to our polytheistic communities in other religions. And so this symbol also comes in its variations. It also is representative of the sun because this is, the fact that we receive this light, we receive this energy of creator consciousness. But I just want to read a couple of things to you from the book Sacred Symbols. Oh, just backwards, of course. The Sacred Symbols of Mu. But the reason I want to read to you is so that way I can get it verbatim and not really, add my own spin to it. But we'll get into more of what I feel when I have worked with this symbol. So the circle is a picture of the sun and was a symbol of the Infinite One. As it embraced all of his attributes, it was the monotheistic symbol, being the symbol that it is. And being the symbol, it was considered the most sacred of all symbols. According to the legend, the sun was selected for this symbol because it was the most powerful object that came within the sight and understanding of man at that time. The circle, having no beginning and no ending, also symbolized everlasting, without end, and infinity. Before very long, it showed that the circle was being used to symbolize so many things that it became necessary to specialize the circle when used in monotheistic symbol of the deity. So the other colonies added their own little spin on it to dictate or to understand what the symbols, what that deity was. And as you can see, those are the other variations of the sacred symbol of the circle. And in the first figure, it is a monotheistic symbol of the deity. The second one is the subsequent changes by the Nagas, which is another uh, civilization, and then the subsequent changes made. So every one of them just go through the different indications of the different changes. So if you guys are interested, definitely feel free to purchase this on Amazon. But what I felt personally as I decided to work with this in my meditations is that you have the circle, and there are many things that can happen when you're focusing with this. And so there's this thought of me focusing on the energy, the creative consciousness itself. And when I do that, there is just the circle. There's nothing inside. It's completely empty. And then as I allow myself to connect even more, it begins to fill up. Begins to fill up with light, begins to fill up with experiences, begins to fill up with other thoughts and energy that I've had that can connect me to the creative consciousness. And so it allows for the energy of the circle to also expand, to make room to fill up with what is necessary for me to have in this experience in this time. And then it also contracts as I allow myself to let go and detach from what it needs to be. So you have to understand that this circle is also a breathing energy, breathing entity, because it is, creative consciousness. And I'm using the term creative consciousness because that's what it is, as opposed to what is the term that is more popularly coined, which is Christ consciousness. And Christ consciousness refers to the Master Yeshua, Jesus, who has mastered this energy and begins to step into the space of embodying that. And so that's what the symbol in the circle represents. It represents us beginning to embody that, which is why they chose the sun, which is why they call it Ra in their culture. That's where it began, not in Egypt. They began to call it Ra and Mu. So the Egyptians carried that terminology, that energy with them, as Egypt was one of the colonies that settled after Mu, after Atlantis, and then came Egypt. So if you guys have questions about that, we definitely can chat more about it. I'm open to having all sorts of discussions as this is excites me. But just know and understand that the circle itself, the creative consciousness lives within us. It's no reason why the circle is the most predominant shape in our culture, but it has a particular reason. So when we honor that sacred energy of creative consciousness in the shape of a circle, we then can tap into more. And so the next shape that I would do, not today, is going to be the square, and that is even more. So as we go through there's start off with simple shapes because they're simple, so that way man can really utilize and tap into them to such a degree that they become universal. And we will step into more of the complex symbols as I move through this. So if you have any questions, comments, put them in the description box below. And yeah, go back and watch some of those interviews to get you up to speed. Have a beautiful day, beautiful souls.